ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः।
अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच।
श्रीभगवानुवाच।
श्लोक नंबर 9। सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीन मध्यस्तद्वेष्य बन्धुषु
सुहृन्मित्रायुदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेष्यबन्धुषु
साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते।
साधुष्वपि च भावेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते।
समबुद्धिः यः यः यस्य समत्वदर्शनम् अस्ति सः विशिष्यते। येषु सुहृन्मित्रारुदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेषबन्धुषु, all the words we have seen. Suhrit, hrit means heart. Suhrit, good hearted, well wisher. Mitra, friend. Ari, mitra plus ari, then udasina, so sandhi. Mitra plus ari plus udasina, mitraridasina. In fact, the first line is one word, it's a compound, dvanda samasa. Within a compound samasa, within a samasa, so sandhi is a must. So mitra plus ari, savana dirgha, then ari plus udasina in sandhi. So mitra, ari, ari is enemy, udasina. Udasina is indifferent, madhyastha, neutral, dveshya, enemy, bandhu, friends, sadhu, good people, which are papeshu, papaha, papi, yaha papi, papa karma karoti, saha papi, who does actions which are not dharma, therefore adharmika, papeshu means adharmikeshu, samabuddhihi. So the here referring to all the beings, human beings. The previous line, samaloshta shmakanchana, with regard to all things, all objects. Therefore, with regard to all things or all objects, he has got samatva buddhi. Samatva buddhi means it is, yes, equanimity of mind, which is born of jnanam. So it is jnanam. Samatva buddhi. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That is yoga, karma yoga, as a sadhanam, as a sadhyam, samatvam, darshanam is gained. The knowledge of Brahma. Brahma is samaha. In the fifth chapter, we saw nirdosham hi samam Brahma. Brahma is sama. Brahma is samaha. It is uniform. Everything is Brahma. So samam nirdosham samam Brahma. That's samam Brahma samatva darshanam. Savadarshanam, Brahma darshanam. So that's we had shloka we have seen. You have to read from why people rebel. People love to rebel against statements. May you not drink alcohol. Suram na pibet. Addicted to alcohol. So when such statements are there from the Shruti, then there would be a counter reaction. Why shouldn't be? Why should not be? It's not my right. So that's a rebel. So anything that is, so Shastram says it is for our good. Shastram is not going to gain anything. Shastram, as Shankaracharya says, it has love equivalent to that of 1,000 mothers, more than a biological mother. Shastram has love for the human beings. Therefore, it teaches, gives advice, gives do's and don'ts. Nishiddha. These are all Nishiddha karma, prohibited action, not conducive for one's spiritual progress. That is why it is prohibited, not just for the sake of, not just that sake of prohibiting. Not just alcohol is as such is uh, is prohibited. That it is not good for one's spiritual pursuit. The same alcohol, if it is used in medicine, it becomes aushadha. So therefore, that which is not conducive for one's progress, spiritual progress, that which disturbs, that which stultifies one's buddhi, not conducive. That's why Shastra prohibits. Similarly, kalanjiyam na bhakshaye, do not eat meat. Why shouldn't we eat meat? Because yatha annam, yatha raktam. They say no in English. As the food, so the blood, so the blood, so the mind. So similarly, the mind also. So by eating flesh, the guna of the what we eat, that constitutes our mind. So the mind, instead of becoming sattvika, becomes more rajas. So that is not conducive again for one's spiritual pursuit. Dhyanam cannot be done when the mind is rajas. The mind is provoked. How can meditation or how can study of Shastra be done? So that is why Shastra gives upadesha of do's and don'ts. So therefore, anything that is not to be done, they want to do. Who want to do? The papinaha. So the rebellion is due to some internal pressure. It may start with some sense of adventure. So it begins like that, but later one becomes addicted to it, which also due to some inner pressure. So this is not to say that conformists are good people. Yeah, there's another problem. Those who do not drink because they never taste, not because they don't like. They just do not take. Doesn't mean they are good people. Also, not taking doesn't make them bad people. Not taking them doesn't make it good people. So what makes good people? Following dharma and adharma. The karma. The karma is karma. The action is born of the mind. First, the action is done in the mind. Then it manifests in the form of the physical. Then manifests in the form of in the physical form through operating the sense organs. So it's all connected to the mind. The mind is important. Though conformist doesn't mean they are good people. Good people may conform to not taking. But what about what is their thought? What is the condition of the mind? They only know. Therefore, because they conform doesn't mean they are good people. Some people are good because they're simply incapable of being bad due to dullness or fear. So the person is good due to dullness, not having any idea, some vagueness, no clear thinking, fear, afraid. They are not. They also will not do. Doesn't mean they are good people. Such people may even want to be bad, but their fear prevents them from doing what they really want to do. Out of fear of punishment, they refrain from doing such acts, not out of the conscience of right and wrong. So they are also not, because they're not doing that, doesn't mean they're not good people. They're not taking alcohol or they're not eating mamsa, they're not indulge in any karma which are prohibited, doesn't mean they are good people. So all conformists are not good people. So it doesn't make them good because they don't do. They want to do, but the fear prevents them from being do. So therefore, the inner conscience matters. Uh, inner conscience is what makes a person good or bad. In spite of the situations being conducive, a person doesn't do. He is good. In spite of the provoking situation, in spite of nobody watching, if the person is good, then he is good. He has got the conscience, inner conscience. Therefore, refrain from doing which is prohibited by the Shastram. Yes, value for the Shastram, and therefore its inner conscience with regard to what is good and what is wrong is very clear. Therefore, you will not indulge in any action which are not conducive for one's progress as well as the Shastra, because the Shastram says, yeah, we also will not do. Such people are really good people, not that people who just merely conform. due to lack of fear or due to lack of fear or doesn't have even the Shakti, the power to do. Whereas for our people who confirm as a result of the knowledge, jnanam, a good understanding of the Shastram and they know the purpose of life, they are very clear about their goal. So understanding, knowledge and understanding, the life is very pleasant. So that is why in other place we have seen who can be really dharmic. Only a jnani can be really dharmic. All the other people are dharmika, not that they want to be dharmika and dharmika. Yeah, they are dharmika because of some order, because of some the because of the fear of punishment, fear of society, fear of people watching them. Therefore, they are dharmika. So it is also some sort of hypocrisy only. Whereas the people who conform to that because they know about it, they have very clear understanding about. Therefore, those people are really good people. The good people means due to their understanding, due to understanding of life, understanding of what is good, what is bad for for a pleasant life, and also they have regard for the teaching of the Shastra. Therefore, they are good. So their conformity is a willing conformity. So there is a will involved. Not it is not a forced one. It's a willing conformity in which there is no internal pressure and therefore no problem in conforming to dharma. So that is the difference between so-called good people and really good people. To rebel means there is a pressure inside the person and that pressure itself is a problem. The rebellious nature is not the problem. The pressure behind the rebellious nature is a problem. We are all rebels, really speaking. I'm also a rebel, which is why I became a Swami. I may not be a rebel in the eyes of the society in which I was raised, but certainly in my mother's eyes, I am one. Which mother wants her son to become a Swami? No Indian mother wants it. Only the neighbor's son becomes a Swami. Is it all right? All Indian mothers, they prostrate to such a person and give Bhiksha and Dana as long as it is someone else's son. If it is one's own son, then they will not accept. Very difficult for them to digest the fact that one's son has become a Swami. Therefore, to be a Swami, one has to be a rebel. Even in the life of Shankaracharya, it happened. His mother did not give him permission in the beginning. Later, when the crocodile told him, when he was taking a dip in the river, so it's then when Shankaracharya asked for sannyasa, apat sannyasa, his mother thinking that that son would not survive, let him fulfill his the final wish. So she accepted sannyasa, sannyasa. But luckily, after that, crocodile left his leg. So he became, anyway, mother has given permission, sannyasa, became sannyasi. So rebellion can be due to some inner pressure or because there is some understanding, some vision. More often than not, however, a rebellious nature is because of some problem inside caused by one's upbringing or whatever, childhood problem, upbringing, a rebellious inner child. So therefore, that causes pressure. Therefore, the person wants to do some adventure and gets into problem. Due to this internal pressure, people do what is not to be done. As the third chapter also we saw, Kamesha Krodayesha, Rajoguna Sabuddhava, therefore Rajoguna. So people do what is not to be done. As Arjuna also has propelled by what the Purusha commits Papa. Kena Prayuktaha Ayam Purushaha Papam Karoti. So people do knowingly that which is not should not be done because of pressure. And in the fifth chapter again we have seen that person is really a happy person, a sane person who is able to withstand or master the force of kama and krodha. Shaknoti haivaya shodum praksharira mokshanat. So kama and krodha, the force of them, one is able to Sodom, withstand. That person is a really a Sukhi person. Sukhi Naraha is a happy person. There is no pressure, and that person is able to withstand. Yes, develop resistance. So therefore, due to internal pressure, people do what is not to be done. Duryodhana, due to pressure, Duryodhana by nature is rebellious. He was brought rebellious. That nature was nurtured in him, for which the parents are also in one way responsible. Dhritarashtra and Mandodari. And of course, his uncle Shakuni was there, always feeding him anger, hatred towards the Pandavas. So he was brought up as a rebellious one deliberately. So therefore, pressure went to the level of the war between the two groups, destroying so many millions of people. So therefore, due to this internal pressure, even the World War II, even due to internal pressure, people do what is not to be done. So they do karma which is not proper, adharma they do. From pickpocketing, from picking pockets to acting as dons of mafia groups, modern mafia groups, with so many others in between. Looters come in many shapes and sizes, including the very dignified corporate looters, those who manage never to get exposed, many political leaders. So the word papi covers the word. This is all the description of the word papi. The papi covers all types of wrongdoers, adharmikaha in every society. They are papi. Why they are called papi? Because their action is not conducive for the welfare of the society, for the group, for the society, for the family. Therefore, they are called papi. Their action causes disturbance to the society. So, therefore, papi. Do we relate to people or to a definition? Yes. So now all the people were given Sukrut, Mitra, Hari. Then do we relate to people or to a definition? Thus, Bhagavan begins with Suhrud. Su Purvaka Hrid, not Dhatu Hrid, Suhrud. And ended with the Papi. So beginning with the Sugrud, a good order, and ended with the Papi. With everyone else in the world being covered in between. In between, everything else is covered. Sugrud, Mitra, Hari, Udasina, Madhyastha. Then how are you to deal with all of them? Bhagavan says in so many words that you must always deal with them without differentiating between them. Instead, what you tend to do is bracket these various types of people and then deal with them. No one looks at a person as a person is. You look at the person according to a particular category or definition you have applied to him or her. You label the person and then deal with the person. Only then do you relate to the person. But this is not relating at all. You should not label a person as good or bad and deal. That is the worst deal. First way a person can deal with. A person is, if nobody is papi, nobody is a born papi. Because of situation, because of background, family background, or friends background, the person grows. Like in the case of Duryodhana, had Arjuna be in the shoes of Duryodhana, probably Arjuna also would have been brought up like that. So helplessly would have become, Arjuna also would have become Duryodhana, like Duryodhana. But Arjuna had good people around him. People surrounded him, gave him good upadesha, nurtured him properly. Therefore, Duryodhana is bad means because of situation, because of brought up. Yes, is what is it is. It's what he was. Similarly, Arjuna also. Therefore, there is no wicked people. That is why Swamiji never uses the word wicked. Nobody is wicked and evil. All these words are labeling words. Similarly, good person, bad person also. Everyone is good only because of the background, or it is good or bad, it is purely relative term. Maybe good, maybe bad to you, maybe good to his family members, good to his wife, good to his son, good to another person. So it's a relative term. So therefore, but sorry, he says this is not relating at all. When you look at people according to definitions and categories under which you have put them, then you are relating to definitions, not to the people. You are dealing with only the word, not to the people, only to the nama, the name. You are dealing only with the definition, not to the people. You don't really deal with the people. We relate only to the people, not with the word. People relate to people very rarely. You define people, you label them, and relate only to your definitions. No one can fulfill a definition. For example, no one can fulfill the definition of an enemy. Who is an enemy really? An enemy also in one way doing favor. It helps us for our growth in some way. So who is an enemy? What does it mean to define enemy? Someone as your enemy. He may be inimical to you, but not to the other person, not to his family members. So what does it mean to define someone as your enemy? To what part of you is a person an enemy? You are made up of so many parts. Is a person enemy to your nose or to your legs, to your hands, to your mind, to your soul? So what is a person an enemy? From this, we can see that no one really fulfills any definition, but still you deal with people based on your definitions. And the person is enemy to you, but not he is enemy as such. It's not his nature. Because you don't like him, therefore you call him your enemy. But there are people who loves him. Therefore, enemy that is not a definition of the person. It's your experience with the person. The experience of the person is not is hostile. Therefore, you call him as enemy. But the person is not enemy as such. It's not his swarupa. It's not his nature. So when you deal with people according to your definition, then what happens? You meet only a definition of friend, enemy, or whatever. You don't really meet the person. You miss the person, you deal with the definition. This means you are stuck with yourself, with your own definition. You are fighting with yourself, not fighting with the person, real person. Therefore, you live in an imagined world, imaginary world, because the definitions are in the imaginary. Definitions are imaginary, and therefore you live in the deal with the person in your imaginary world. And this problem will go only when once friend is gone. I have a friend for myself. I have a mask for myself. I want to protect myself because I have my own insecurities, my own pains, etc. Therefore, there is always a shield, a mask through which I face the world. With a maskless face, we don't face. We put a mask and then face the world. But the person being discussed here is the one who has Samattva Buddhi is Jnana Triptatma because he has got Jnanena Triptaha Atmanta Karnam. Therefore, he doesn't have a mask, he doesn't have insecurity, doesn't have inadequacy. Therefore, who is enemy or who is friend? He is satisfied with himself. There is no inner pressure, there is no inner urge for him, any sort of urge. He is happy with himself. He doesn't lack anything. Therefore, Triptaha, Atmanya Santushtaha. Therefore, he doesn't have such problem. He doesn't have he doesn't have any problem. He doesn't have problem with himself. Only when you have problem with yourself, you will have problem with others. He doesn't have problem with himself. Therefore, there is no problem outside. Inside, no problem. Outside also there is no problem. How? That is because of knowledge, understanding the truth. By knowledge, this person is completely free, totally satisfied with himself or herself. Jnanam. Jnanena triptaha, satisfied. What friend has such a person got? He doesn't have any mask. He doesn't have to put a mask. Masks are generally worn by the person to feel secure. But this person already secure. Therefore, what friend has he got? None. Whatsoever. All friends are gone. And what remains is a simple person with a mind and senses. Therefore, he deals with all the people in an equal way, as we see in the life of the Buddha. He dealt with the same way with the Angulimala as he did with other people. Others were afraid of Angulimala, but Buddha was not. In fact, Angulimala was converted completely. from being a murderer to a bhikkhu. A conversion happened. Therefore, this is why the person is called Samabuddhi. Samabuddhihi Shishyate. A wise person, therefore, never condemns another person, doesn't criticize another person, doesn't criticize based on the definition, may criticize the quality of the person, but doesn't condemn the person, doesn't condemn the core person. The Samabuddhi is not again, what is Samabuddhi? It's not a dull or dumb person who cannot tell the difference between a Sukrut and Papi. So what is Samabuddhi also to be understood? Samabuddhi, equal mind, means not that you wouldn't be able to see the difference between the people. Differences are there due to their gunas. Gunas and the gunas manifest in their actions. Therefore, differences being there, but still doesn't see the difference. The differences because he doesn't have any, it doesn't have any problem. Therefore, doesn't see any differences. It doesn't have any urge. It doesn't have any lack. It doesn't have. It doesn't play any particular role wearing mask. Therefore, all are equal. But at the same time, we know Suhrut Papi iti doesn't label, but he knows what they are. Therefore, not that the person cannot tell the difference. The difference is being known, but still doesn't deal with them, labeling them, defining them. He or she, that is Jnani, recognizes a Sugrud as Sugrud and Papi as a Papi. The point being made here is that the Samabuddhi doesn't condemn the person as a Papi. There is no condemnation, there is no rejection. In fact, there is no labeling and therefore there is no rejection or acceptance. So Samabuddhi doesn't condemn the person. Indeed, there is no such. Who is a Papi? The Papi doesn't have any special. Does he have any special organ so that the person become Papi? There is no person such as Papi. If no person is really a Papi, at least with regard to his family members, he is a loving person. Therefore, there is Papi is with regard to certain action is called Papi. Not the person is Papi. So therefore, there is no such person as a Papi. Ravana is a Papi or is a what type of person Ravana is? Ravana, because he usurped the wife of Rama, therefore, from that standpoint, from that action is called a, yep, maybe he may be called a Papi. But Ravana was a great Bhakta, was a loving husband. He had great affection for his son and for his brothers. Therefore, he is not a born Papi or Papi as his nature. So therefore, there is no such person as a Papi. There is only a person who has done those actions that are Papas. Because of action, the person gains the karma pala, Papa, therefore becomes a Papi. Therefore, when you meet people as they are, but generally we don't meet people as they are, we always color them and see with our own colored eyes. Therefore, you meet people as they are, take them as they are, respond to them, deal with them. Jnani does that. This vision, due to the knowledge, this capacity to take the people as they are, definitely implies a certain freedom on your part. That is what real freedom is. Jnani enjoys that freedom, therefore, he sees the people as they are and enables a new type of dynamic relationship, a true relationship to take place. Therefore, because he enjoys freedom, therefore, that person really deals with the person as the person is. If a man who has money, for example, goes to a party, he will search out a certain class of people and talk only to them, either his own class or little higher. Everyone does in this way or the other. You may come across someone who is informed, a scholarly person, and run away simply because he or she is a scholar. Because you feel uneasy in this person's presence. Why you feel uneasy? Because your insecurity is invoked. You feel insecure in the presence of that person because the person has knowledge more than you. Therefore, you feel insecure. Therefore, you're not comfortable. Therefore, you find it comfortable to move away. You may either run away from those who are moneyed or and proud, or you may seek them out. So both the actions are intended due to the due to due to the self dissatisfaction. This is not the same thing as being careful about your choice of friends. A friend is one with whom you can share and be free. Therefore, there is some validity in choosing your friends carefully. But we are not talking about empirical life here. We are talking about a wise person, Jnana Truptatma. How does he or she respond to all these kinds of people? Again, we have seen this in the second chapter, Sita Pragya Lakshana. When Arjuna has this, how, the Sita, how does a Sita Pragya walk, talk, and deal with the people, different kinds of people we saw. So, therefore, how does he or she respond to all these different kinds of people? With reference to all of them, this person has equal vision, Samabuddhi, regardless of the social status. It doesn't distinguish them based on what they have, haves and have nots. There is no distinction for this person and profession, astrological sign, or whatever. The wise person, therefore, doesn't bother about what a person was or is, what he or she did or is doing, whether he or she is a follower of Shastra, Sadhu, or one who goes against the Shastra, Papi. That is why all are welcome. In fact, to the to meet the Swami, the enlightened Swami. All are welcome. All welcome to see Puja Swami, including the political leaders. He talks to all sorts of people, though he may know the intention of the people, but doesn't distinguish them, and he does what he can. That is real exhibition of jnana. Indeed, a wise people takes people as they are because he or she is free person. In other words, a non-judging. That's the right word. Non-judging, non-judgmental. Who can be really non-judgmental? Only an jnani can be really non-judgmental. Doesn't judge a person by by doesn't judge a person. Doesn't judge a person by even by their action, because every action has got a background, the reason. So because the person does such action, because he's brought up, his background is such background, therefore he does certain action that becomes his swabhava nature. So therefore a person is good or bad due to so many factors. So being not non-judging, so he has got samatta buddhi with regard to all sorts of people. At the same time, deal with them appropriately, because that is empirical, that is vyavaharika. Vyavaharika, we cannot deal with them equally. At the same time, it's got equal vision. So this is what samabuddhi to be understood. This is often wrongly understood and misinterpreted also. Okay, we'll stop here. Then comes the fear of being judged. We'll see next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri
Shri
Gurubhyo
Gurubhyo
Namaha.
Namaha.
Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.